Saram students, I hope you all are fine. Today, let us continue with the revision of History lesson number 7, Ashoka the Emperor who gave up war. Children, in a previous class, we have already revised about a very big kingdom that is equal to an empire and how are empires different from kingdoms and about ruling the empire. Today, children, let us revise about the emperor and the capital city and Ashoka, a unique ruler, and about Ashoka's war in Kalinga and what was Ashoka's Dhamma and Ashoka's messages to his subjects and elsewhere, that is about China. Now children, let us revise the first topic, that is about the emperor and the capital city. Children, who was Megasthenes? Megasthenes, he was an ambassador who was sent to the court of Chandragupta. Who has sent him there? He was sent by the Greek ruler of West Asia named Seleucus Nicator. And children, what did Megasthenes wrote about the Mauryan emperor? Megasthenes, he wrote an account about what he saw, and here is a part of his description. The occasions on which the emperor appears in public are celebrated with grand royal processions, and he is carried in a golden palanquin. And his guards, they ride elephants decorated with gold and silver, and some of the guards, they carry trees on which live birds, including a flock of trained parrots, and they circle about the head of the emperor. And the king is normally surrounded by armed women, and he is afraid that someone may try to kill him. So he has special servants to taste the food before he eats, and so he never sleeps in the same bedroom for 2 nights. So children, this is the account that Megasthenes he wrote about the Mauryan emperor. And children, what did Megasthenes wrote about Patliputra? That is about modern Patna. He wrote that this is a large and beautiful city and it is surrounded by a massive wall. It has 570 towers and 64 gates, and the houses of 2 and 3 stories, they are built of wood and mud brick, and the king's palace is also of wood and it is decorated with stone carvings, and it is surrounded with gardens and enclosures for keeping birds. Now let us revise the next topic, Ashoka, a unique ruler. Children, why was Ashoka known as a unique ruler? Ashoka was known as a unique ruler because the most famous Mauryan ruler was Ashoka, and he was the first ruler who tried to take his message to the people through inscriptions, and most of Ashoka's inscriptions, they were in Prakrit and they were written in the Brahmi script. Now let us revise about Ashoka's war in Kalinga. Kalinga is the ancient name of coastal Orissa, and Ashoka he fought a war to conquer Kalinga. But however, he was so horrified when he saw the violence and bloodshed that he decided not to fight any more wars, and he is the only king in the history of the world who gave up conquest after winning a war. Now let us revise about Ashoka's inscription describing the Kalinga war. This is what Ashoka he declared in one of his inscriptions, that is, 8 years after becoming king, I conquered Kalinga, and about 1.5 lakh people were captured, and more than 1 lakh of people were killed, and this filled me with sorrow. Why? Because whenever an independent land is conquered, then lakhs of people they die, and many are taken as prisoner, and Brahmins and monks they also die. People who are kind to their relatives and friends, to their slaves and servants, die, or they lose their loved ones. That is why I am sad and have decided to observe Dhamma and to teach others about it as well. And I believe that winning people over through Dhamma is much better than conquering them through force. And I am inscribing this message for the future, so that my son and grandson after me, they should not think about war. Instead, they should try to think about how to spread Dhamma. And children, what is Dhamma? Dhamma is the Prakrit word for the Sanskrit term Dharma. Now, let us revise about what was Ashoka's Dhamma. Ashoka's Dhamma did not involve worship of God or performance of a sacrifice. He felt that just as a father tries to teach his children, so he had a duty to instruct his subjects. Subjects means people. And he was also inspired by the teachings of the Buddha. And there were a number of problems that troubled him. Children, what were the problems that Ashoka wanted to solve by introducing Dhamma? The problems that Ashoka wanted to solve by introducing Dhamma were religious conflict. That is, people in the empire, they followed different religions, and this sometimes led to conflict. And animals, they were sacrificed. Slaves and servants, they were ill-treated. Besides, there were quarrels in families and amongst neighbors. And Ashoka, he felt it was his duty to solve these problems. So, what were the means adopted by Ashoka to spread the message of Dhamma? He appointed officials known as the Dhamma Mahamatta, who went from place to place teaching people about Dhamma. Besides, Ashoka, he got his messages inscribed on rocks and pillars, instructing his officials to read his message to those who could not read it themselves. And Ashoka also sent messengers to spread ideas about Dhamma to other lands such as Syria, Egypt, Greece and Sri Lanka. And what else did he do for the people? He built roads, dug wells and built rest houses. Besides, he also arranged for medical treatment for both human beings and animals. Now children, let us revise about Ashoka's messages to his subjects. We know that people, they perform a variety of rituals. That is, when they fall ill, when the children get married, or when children are born, or when they go on a journey. But are these rituals useful? These rituals, they are not useful. If instead people, they should observe other practices, and this would be more fruitful. That means instead of performing rituals, people, they must perform other practices. And what are these other practices? These are being gentle with slaves and servants, respecting one's elders, and treating all creatures with compassion, that is, with sympathy and pity, and giving gifts to Brahmins and monks. And it is both wrong to praise one's own religion or criticize another's. Each one, they should respect the other's religion. And if one praises one's own religion while criticizing another's religion, then one is actually doing greater harm to one's own religion. Therefore, what should be done? One should try to understand the main ideas of another's religion and they should respect it. And children, who was the first Prime Minister of India? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India. And what has he written about Ashoka's edicts? He has written that Ashoka's edicts, that is the instructions, they still speak to us in a language that we can understand, and we can still learn much more from them. And children, here below you can see the Brahmi script. Can you explain the term the Brahmi script? Brahmi is the modern name given to one of the oldest writing systems that was used in ancient India. And most modern Indian scripts, they have developed from the Brahmi script over hundreds of years. And children, here you can see the letter A, that is written in different scripts. You can see it is written in early Brahmi, Devanagari, that is in Hindi, Bengali, Malayalam and in Tamil. Now children, let us revise elsewhere, that is about China. Children, who built the Great Wall of China? Somewhat before the time of the Mauryan Empire, that is about 2400 years ago. Emperors in China, they began building the Great Wall. And why was the Great Wall of China built? It was built to protect the northern frontier of the empire from pastoral people. And additions to the wall, they were made over a period of 2000 years. Why? Because the frontiers of the empire, they kept on shifting. And how long is the wall? The wall is about 6,400 kilometers long. And what is it made of? It is made of stone and brick with a road along the top. And how many people worked to build the wall? Several thousand people, they worked to build the wall. And children, there are watchtowers all along at distances of about 100 to 200 meters. Now children, let's discuss. Describe Ashoka's war in Kalinga and discuss the impact of this war on Ashoka. Kalinga is the ancient name of coastal Orissa, that is now Odisha. Ashoka, he raised a large army and attacked Kalinga. The people of Kalinga, they fought bravely, but they were defeated and both sides suffered heavy losses. More than 1 lakh people died in the war. And the Kalinga war, it resulted in great loss of life and property. This war was the most important event of Ashoka's life. He was so horrified when he saw the violence and bloodshed that his heart was moved to see misery of men that he decided not to fight any more wars. And he was the only king in the history of the world who gave up conquest after winning a war. Now children, let's have a quiz. Match the following. Let us read column A. First one, famous Mauryan ruler. Second one, Megasthenes. Third one, Rampurva. Fourth one, Chanakya. Now let us read column B. A. Chandragupta. B. Arthashastra. C. Ashoka. D. Bihar. Now let us match column A with column B. First one, famous Mauryan ruler. What's the correct option? Correct, Ashoka. So we'll write first one as C. Second one, Megasthenes. What's the correct option? Correct. We'll write Chandragupta, that is A. So second one we will write it as A. Chandragupta. Third one, Rampurva. Where is it, children? Correct. It is in Bihar. So we'll write third one as D. Fourth one, Chanakya. What's the correct option? Correct. We'll write it as B. Arthashastra. So children, today we have completed the revision of history lesson number 7. Ashoka, the emperor who gave up war. So read this lesson thoroughly. Till we meet again, goodbye children.